Hi, so today I'm going to be painting this little plant shelf sitter. So it has multiple layers and these little pieces all come apart and then layer up. It's not very large, so it's just a small little guy. You can put it on maybe one of your tiered trays. You can put it on your shelf. It's just something a little small. It's cute, and it also comes with this is a miniature version of the kickstand back support. So these just I like to take two of these and then kind of double them up, and then this just fits inside these. So it just goes in there, slides in, and if I take one at a time, and they just fit right in there. So you can see, and it fits just right inside there. And I like to take two just so it has more support. So there we are. And there we go. So, and you can see how they fit together, and that will glue right on the back so it holds it up. So there are 4 different ones of these included. So you can have, like, if you want it more like leaned back, there's ones that are right side up. So there's 4 different angles included. And there are 15 different widths for these. So, and then they're all measured out for you, and they're all labeled. So you don't have to worry about which one, but you'll have to measure your materials so you know which one to use. Okay, so that's over here, and that just glues right to the back. So this is a miniature version of the other stands that I have for other files. Or you can create your own stand if you wanted to, but I thought this would be the most versatile way to create the file. So that way you can use it this way, and you can use it for, like, maybe on your sign making or any other way, but I thought this would be the most versatile way to do it. So that way it doesn't have that slot at the bottom. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started and take these little pieces off. And here we go, take all those off. And then this other piece comes off. There is another piece like this included that doesn't have the plants included, like, that are attached. If you wanted for the extra layer, you don't need it. As you can see, I'm not going to use that piece. So we have, this is our top layer, so for the little plants. So we have our monsteras, and then we have this layer here with different kinds of plants, and then we have one that has 3 plants in the back. So they just layer right on top of each other, and there we go. And then you just put this on, and then your little monsteras. So that's all there is to making this. It's really simple. And the only thing you have to paint are the plants on these 2 back layers. It's really easy. So we're gonna just go ahead and get started and paint those. And I'm going to paint, what you do on this one, you can paint this like a terracotta color. And since this piece is going to cover this here, you don't have to worry about making it perfect, because right where they come together is going to be covered up with this piece. Okay, so I'm going to just set this over here for now. And I'm going to start with some greens. This one's mint julep. I have English ivy, all from Dixie Belle. And I also have, this one's called kudzu. And I also have this one from Silk. It's called Everglades. And I also have this one here. I like this one's a nice dark green. It's called Midnight Green. And I also have this other green here. It's called Sage Shadow. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of them, but I figured it'd be fun. And then I'm going to use this for the terracotta color. So it's the DIY paints. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and shake my paints up. And I'm going to add a little bit of some shading. I'm going to use some of my art crayons for that. And I'm going to go ahead and paint some of these. I'm going to grab some of this mint julep. I figure that'd be a pretty one for this one here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. There we go. And you can paint them however you want. I'm just giving examples of how I would paint it, but it's really up to you, however way you want to do it. So I'm just gonna go ahead, and it doesn't have to be perfect because a lot of these layers are gonna be covered up. So here we are, there's this layer. There it is. I'm just gonna wipe some of that excess paint off. So that mint julep is pretty. Nice plant color. So, and it's such a beautiful day out. I'm thinking plants. I'm gonna get some gardening done today. So I'm definitely in the mood for some planting. So there's that. And I'm gonna switch to another color. And I think I'm going to do the kudzu, this one here. And here we go. Take my lid off. And I'm just wiping off the brush. I'm not gonna wash it. So I'm just wiping it off, getting that other color off. So it's just slightly darker. I like to have it a little bit different. There we are. It is a little dark in here. I'm just gonna grab a light because it's very much brighter in here than it is on camera. I'm just noticing how dark it is. It's a nice, beautiful day. So there we go, got a little bit more lighting. There we are. Okay, so now you can see that a little bit better. You can see the difference in those shades. So I'll move it up a little closer. You can see one's a little bit lighter and one's darker. And I'm going to do the English ivy next. And I'm thinking I'm gonna do that one for this big one here. I'm just gonna go ahead and paint these bigger leaves here. There we go. There we are. And it's really up to you how you wanna paint yours. This would be fun for like a Mother's Day gift, somebody who really likes plants, or if you like plants, or just something you want to put out just for fun. I love doing anything with plants, especially Monstera plants. I love those. And while I have that color out, I really want to, I'm going to paint these stems. I'm going to paint the stems. I'm going to do the, you don't have to do the whole thing because on here I'm going to be layering these with a darker color. So I'm just gonna go ahead. There we are. And I'm gonna grab another color. I'm just gonna put the caps on these. I have this color here, the Everglades color. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this one here with that. Nice. And this is a nice, like, kind of a yellowy green. I'm just gonna wipe my brush off again. And I'm gonna just go ahead and grab a little bit of that. And that's a nice shade. There we are. And I'm just gonna go over here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Here we go. Got that pretty Everglades green. Okay. And then I'm gonna also use this one, the sage. I'll just shake that up. So I have all these different greens, but it's really up to you how you wanna, if you don't wanna do all these different shades, you don't have to. I just thought it'd be kind of cool for the effect. So I have this, and this is a nice light green. Sage green. Just kind of creates a different dimension because not all plants are the same color. What you could do is just add a little bit of white or a little bit of black to your green if you want to make different shades. So you don't have to keep buying all different colors if you don't want to buy a lot of paint. So there we are. There we go. And you can see it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. So, and it doesn't matter if you get it on here because you're going to be covering that layer up anyways. Okay, so that's all there is to that. And I got a little bit of stuff on there. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna layer that right on top. And you can see how that's going to look. So you can see all those different shades. That looks really fun. All right, so I'm gonna just put this over here. I'm gonna come back to this. So this layer here is going to be the one I'm going to paint with the terracotta color. So I'm just gonna let these dry. I'm gonna set this over here, and I'm gonna go get another paintbrush right here, and I'm going to paint that terracotta color. I'm gonna shake my paint. And this is really on here. I'm just gonna go ahead and use my jar opener. I like these jar openers like these and get on Amazon, and it helps. This one I just got free from one of those, like you go to a craft show or like a trade show and they have them on tables for free. So if you ever see these, like when you go to like a trade show and you see these on tables, grab them. They're great for getting your lids off of paint. So, or they have them on Amazon too. Great to get the lids off stubborn paint containers. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab some of this orange, and I'm just gonna go ahead and paint this. And it doesn't have to be right up to the edge because you're going to be covering that up anyways. And I'm gonna add a little bit of some dimension because there's gonna be that extra layer. So I'm gonna go ahead and just create that dimension with the art crayons. And I have my art crayons right over here. I'm gonna grab those. I'm gonna use the black art crayon. So I'm just gonna paint this and then let this dry. And this is kind of like, it reminds me of like, you know, those terracotta pots that you plant with. But you can choose whatever color you want to do. All right, so that's all you have to do for this one. Easy peasy. I'm gonna set it over here and let it dry. And I'm going to paint this top part the same color. Just gonna grab some paint. And sometimes this paint needs an extra coat. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let that dry too. Because it dries a little bit wonky sometimes. You can see it already, it's starting to dry wonky. All right, so I'm gonna let that dry. And I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna grab some green paint again because I want to paint the Monstera leaves. I'm gonna do these on a darker green. And that's what I have this midnight green for. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. And we're nearly finished. This is a fast one. This is an easy one to do. You don't have to be perfect at painting for this. So I'll take some of this paint off a little bit. So I'm gonna just go ahead. And this is a nice Monstera green. I have some Monstera plants in my kitchen, and I just love these leaves, especially the ones with the Swiss cheese. They look so pretty. Grab a little bit more. And my neighbors decided they're gonna do their yard right now. I apologize for the noise. It's just such a nice day. I wanted to be outside in my garage to paint. It's beautiful out. I haven't had too many nice days. It's been a very cold spring, and oops, I just wanted to try to get outside. There we are. It has been in the 30s at night. It's May, and we're still getting temperatures in the 30s here. It hasn't gotten much out of the 50s lately, so today is almost 70, so I really want to be outside. And that's why I want to get some gardening done. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm gonna go spend some time in my garden. So there we have this. So I'm gonna let these dry for a second. I'm gonna come back, and you can see that this is definitely dries wonky, this paint. You can see how it's drying. So this definitely needs another coat. And I'm gonna set this down. I'm gonna go back to my orangey color paint and start another coat of this because it definitely has a strange way it dries. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a little bit more paint. make sure that it doesn't have that wonky finish. And this is like, it's a chalk paint, so it has like that chalky finish. All right, so there's that. I'm gonna come back over here. I just like how this looks though. It just has a very natural terracotta look to it. Just go ahead, grab some paint. There we are. I just love this color. It's a great fall color too. You get a lot of use out of that color. Okay, so that's all there is. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put my caps on everything. That's all the painting you're going to do. And everything else looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how everything turned out. And I'm gonna just go ahead and show you how everything dried. So there we have this layer here. This goes right on top. And I'm gonna put that right on here. And then we have this layer, which is still drying, the terracotta layer with the Monstera plants. And you can put that right on top. And then these are gonna go right on top of that. And you just gotta make sure you layer them up. And then we have this one here. It's gonna go right on top of here. There it is. And then, and you don't have to use these extra layers. I just like them for the 3D effect. I just think they look really cool. And that one there. And then this piece goes right on top. So there it is. But there is that extra layer of this if you wanted another layer. So I'm just gonna bring this up a little closer so you can see it all. You can see all those lovely layers of plants. I was going to do it where I was going to have the plants stick inside, but I figured this would be easier than doing that. That way they just layer right on top. Figured layering would be the easiest way to do this. So I'm just going to take this apart. So I'm going to let this dry for a few seconds more. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to grab my black crayon, which I have right over here. And these are art crayons. You can get these on Amazon. You can get them at Michael's or, well, Joann's now is pretty much, I think, they're almost closed. But if you can, maybe they might be on sale at this point. I don't know how many things they have left at Joann's since they're all almost closed up at this point. Or any craft store has these. And you can buy them individually or you can buy them in packs. I bought just one at our store, and then I loved it so much that I bought all the colors practically. They do come in metallics too, and like pretty sparkly ones. So I like the black one because it's the most versatile. I use this all the time. I have multiples of these just because I keep misplacing them. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and check this. It's pretty dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna run this along the edge. Just run this right along the sides. And then what I can do, I don't have any sponges around. Oh, yes I do. Right over here. I'm gonna use one of these finger sponges. I got these finger sponges on Temu. So I'm gonna go ahead and use one of these because I don't wanna use it. I don't wanna use my finger. I usually use my finger to blend it, but these are great. You can just get these ones. They just go right on your finger and then you don't get your hands so dirty. I just didn't like it all over my hands. So you can just take this and you can blend it with one of these little sponges. I just get to Temu, but you can get these anywhere pretty much. I got these a while ago, and you can get a whole bag of these for really cheap. But you can get them anywhere. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just rub that along the edge. So that's all you do. And then I'm gonna do the same thing all the way around, just to create some dimension. Here we go. And I'm just gonna blend that right out. And I really like how these look. Here we are. So these are really fun. I like using these for blending. You can also apply paint with these. Lots of uses for these little sponges. And they go right on your finger too, so really easy to hold. So instead of using those makeup sponges, these go right on your finger, and I think they're a lot easier to hold and easier to use than the makeup sponges. And they have the same material. I just like these. And they're cheap. You can get a whole bag of them for really nothing. A couple bucks. I think I got that whole bag for, I think, under $5. I think it was like $3 or $4. You get a lot of them. So that's all there is. And I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that right in. And there's my terracotta pot. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. And I'm just gonna, it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm gonna be blending. So however way you wanna do it. I mean, terracotta pots aren't perfect anyways. So there we are. Go ahead and blend that. There we go. Just blend that right out. And however way you want to do it. I like to get the edges. And it doesn't have to be uniform. It can be however way you want. There we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and set that right on top. Like, it looks dirty. Because you know what? Pots aren't clean. So they're going to be dirty. They're going to have dirt on them. They're going to be muddy. So I like to make it look more realistic. So there we are. I'm going to blend that out a little bit more. Here we go. There we go. So there's my terracotta pot. And I'm going to put everything together with Loctite super glue. You can get this at Lowe's, Home Depot, Michael's. I like to go to Michael's to get this because then you can use a coupon. And they're usually rarely ever on sale, so you can use those really good coupons, the like 20% off, 40% off coupons, and you can save a lot of money. So I prefer Michael's. The only thing is they don't usually have a big supply of them, so I like to try to grab as many as I can when I get a coupon. All right, so there's that. I'm gonna bring these back, put this back together, and we'll see how everything looks once it's assembled. So we have all of this. I'm gonna grab and you can put a little bit of that art crayon on your leaves too. So you can add some like dimension to the leaves if you want, add a little depth to those. And there we have it, all finished. So these are really easy to make. Like, this is really fast and simple. And you can see all the different colors. And I think it came out really fun. And then you just put your little stands on the back and easy peasy. And then these, this comes right off and then you can store it flat. So, all right, let me know what you think. And I hope you enjoy it. And let me know if you use these art crayons and if you like that technique. All right, well, thanks a lot for joining. Bye.